This is Sharina Gloria. I'm just going to make a simple mince. So I usually like to take the skin off the tomato. So this is how I do it. I use the peeler to do it. So I'm using one tomato for it, and I'm skinning this tomato with the peeler. And then I've taken about four tomatoes, four onions, which I will see. I've taken four onions, and these onions I'll just chop it up. I will just slice it up. Just like this. So and I always have my daughter helping me with the camera, because it is very difficult for one person to handle it. And I use a small basket like this. Whenever you want to cut and clean and all that, you can just use a basket like this. It will be very clean, and then after that you can just put it into your dustbin. So that's what I do usually on a daily basis. And then this one tomato that I told you, this one tomato also I will slice it up. I'm actually planning to make some buns, stuffed buns. So I'm making some mince for that. I'll stuff it with some mince. And I will show you what I don't know if I will show you the buns. It might take a little longer time, but I will show you how I make this mince. It's slightly different, and it's on a drier side because we have to use it for the stuffing, so it cannot be very, with gravy or something like that. Now I'll add about 5 to 6 tablespoons of oil, and when the oil is hot, I will add the chopped onions which I showed you. Stir it very well, and once it fries just translucent, we can put in the tomatoes. I'll also be using 1 teaspoon of garlic, 1 teaspoon of ginger, and let the onions get translucent. And I'll be using about 250 grams of minced mutton. Into this, I will add salt to taste. And the idea of putting the salt when the onions are frying is for the onions to soften really fast. Supposedly or apparently the salt softens the onions and tomatoes quickly and lets it fry faster than usual. So then as we finish this, as the onions are fried, I'll put in 1 teaspoon of ginger, 1 teaspoon of garlic. This is all homemade. Stir this very well too. Stir it very well and let it cook till the raw smell leaves. We'll add in our tomatoes too at this stage so they can all fry really well. 1 tomato that I've used. Let this all fry well. I wanted to use tomato powder, homemade tomato powder. I make homemade tomato powder and garlic and ginger powder, onion powder. But I prefer to use that for traveling, because if you use it for traveling, the food will stay if you're going to travel overnight or something. Because if you use the fresh onions and the fresh tomatoes, sometimes due to the onions and tomatoes, whatever dish you prepare, it can go off. So since I'm making the buns at home, I'm making the mince here for us to have it here, I guess the fresh onions and tomatoes will do. So now at this stage, we will use some dry masalas. And these are all not sponsored. I just love these masalas, so I'm just using it. I'm using about 1 to 1.5 teaspoon of meat masala. Stir this very well. And you can use half a teaspoon of haldi, and about half a teaspoon of dhania, that's coriander, and half a teaspoon of garam masala. I am not using chili powder at this stage because we don't eat very pungent, and the curry masala is already pungent. So I'm not using chili powder, but it requires chili powder. So all of those of you who eat chili, even like little bit, I would like to ask you to add half a teaspoon or 1 teaspoon of chili powder. And now I will add the minced mutton, 250 grams. I've washed and strained this mutton in a strainer like this. And now stir this very well. So I've stirred it very well. All the ingredients have gone in. I'll mention it once more. Ginger, garlic, onion, tomatoes, garam masala, meat masala, haldi powder, dhania powder, and don't forget to use a teaspoon of chili powder, which I have not used. Towards the end of the dish, when the dish is almost getting ready, I will use, you can use a squeeze of lemon if you like for a little bit of tangy taste, or you can use a teaspoon of vinegar. I'll be using a teaspoon of vinegar. So this will be nice and dry for me to stuff it in the buns. If it is for traveling, let it be just this much. If you're going to use it at home, you can use some, chop up some green coriander or some dill or some mint, or all 3 of them, and you can put it. It will add to the flavor and the taste, okay? But right now I don't have 3 of them, so I'm not using it. But having said that, it will still taste very good. Of course, they will add a little more flavor to it, but it will still taste good. I'm going to add in a handful of frozen peas, and this is not store-bought frozen peas. This is home. I've made it at home. Like in the sense, I have bought the peas, I've peeled it, I've washed it, and I slightly steamed it, and I've stored it in the freezer. This is how I store my peas. So this is how it looks all, and I'm going to use it to stuff my buns. So this is my finished product. I hope you all will like it. I hope all of you will try it at home. Please like and subscribe. God bless. Take care.